Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel Below the Belt. Welcome if it is your first time. Today I want to give you another really honest update on where I'm at in my penile implant recovery and cycling phase, and also share some advice for men who are either considering the procedure or are currently on the same journey dealing with erectile dysfunction. It's been 11 weeks since I had the operation, and I've been cycling the implant, the Coloplast Titan, for the last 7 weeks. Cycling means inflating the implant as much as you can and for as long as you can to stretch the penile tissues and to integrate the cylinders. Since I started this channel, I've had a lot of men reach out to me privately. In fact, one man actually went ahead and got the implant done after watching my videos. And just this morning, I was on the phone with a gentleman in London who, after speaking with me, has decided he's definitely going to go ahead with it. He happened to be in his mid-30s and has suffered from erectile dysfunction for many years, which goes to show that this issue can actually affect men at any age, even if it's more common as we get older. This man has spent thousands of pounds over the years on things like Doppler ultrasounds, shockwave therapy, PRP, you name it, and none of this worked for him long term. He also tried the injections, Cavaject, I believe, that's what they usually give you in the UK, and those injections gave him priapism, which is an erection which he said lasted even 7 hours in his case, which is quite extreme. He also has Peyronie's disease, which is a significant bend in the penis. He happens to be very physically fit and healthy. He's in shape. He works out, but none of this has made a difference to his erectile dysfunction. I found the same when I was also very much in shape and fit. It's good to be fit and healthy, but in many cases it won't fix ED. So this gentleman also struggles with premature ejaculation. Now, the implant won't directly fix premature ejaculation, but what it will do is allow him to maintain an erection even after ejaculation. That essentially gets around the problem, and that's going to be life-changing for him. It could even be that the new confidence the implant gives him will help him to relax, meaning he is able to go longer before climaxing. He's already in a loving relationship, fortunately. He's engaged and he's planning to get married soon. I cannot think of a better gift for their wedding night and their marriage moving forward. Any man who is already in a relationship with a supportive partner has a significant head start in this journey. For men who happen to be single, like myself, it's a whole other ball game. Most of the men I've come across who are battling ED are in relationships or married, but this may just be because fewer single men are as compelled to come forward about it or feel that they have as much of a reason to deal with it. I'm certainly not one of these men because I don't intend to remain single. The gentleman I am referring to was even considering going to Turkey and paying out of pocket a considerable sum of money to have the penile implant. But he's come to realise, and I've reassured him, that in the UK you can get it done on the NHS for free. And this means you can stop wasting money on treatments that do not work. So just a quick note on Doppler ultrasounds. Now, some men get really focused on having a Doppler ultrasound because it is seen as the gold standard for understanding whether it's venous leak, arterial damage, or fibrosis of the corpora cavernosa. But here's the reality. It doesn't change the outcome. The corpora cavernosa, by the way, are the cylinders inside your penis that fill with oxygenated blood when you achieve a natural erection. But here's the reality: it doesn't change the outcome. On the NHS, they don't even offer the Doppler ultrasound because no matter what it shows, the solution is still the same if all other methods have failed. Injections, pills, vacuum pump device, etc., etc. The implant bypasses the cause entirely. There's always another root cause to chase, but it becomes a never-ending rabbit hole. Very often they can't fix that underlying cause anyway. So instead of chasing curiosity, it's better to go straight to the treatment that actually works, in the thinking of the NHS. For example, maybe your erectile dysfunction was caused by arterial damage. So, in your case, that is the root cause. But what was the root cause of the arterial damage? High cholesterol? So what was the cause of that? Diet or genetics? If the damage done is permanent, what does this even change? The end result is erectile dysfunction regardless, and the definitive solution is the penile implant. As for my own recovery, I'm currently in the cycling phase. I pump the device up close to 100% for about half an hour each day. Some men do more, some do less, but my understanding is that this is plenty. I'm just going to turn the light on one moment. That's better. I'll be honest, it's not agony, but it is uncomfortable, and I don't exactly look forward to doing it every day. Of course, for anyone in a relationship, cycling might be more enjoyable because you can combine it with sex with your partner. For me, being single at the moment, it's purely a rehabilitation process. Physically, I can feel the cylinders still. They feel crinkly when deflated, and I can feel the dog ears, so to speak, when the penis is flaccid and bent. And the pump still really stands out in the scrotum. But everything is gradually integrating, and I am confident it will continue to improve over time. I've spoken to many men who are further down the line in this process, and that gives me a lot of faith. One man who I am in regular contact with from the USA, who is much further along in this journey than I am, told me it took him 8 months until everything settled. He has also just advised me to cycle twice a day for half an hour each time. Although my urologist and penile implant surgeon, Dr. Patrick Gordon, advised me to do 20 minutes a day, and ChatGPT told me half an hour a day is plenty, many men who have undergone the procedure and the top urologists on YouTube often do advise that more is better. Another issue I've had is with urine and semen dribbles. So after I go to the bathroom and have a pee, it takes quite a while to clear all the urine from my urethra, and I need to carry some tissue with me and keep dabbing it, and the same with semen if I masturbate when I cycle the implant, which I often do just to make sure everything's functioning perfectly well. I'm told that this will get better with time. There is pressure on the urethra from the cylinders, and as they soften up and break in over time and integrate, this should improve. So I'm told, as I said, I'm told this does get better when I checked in with the other guys in the Penile Implant Information and Support Facebook group, which I recommend you join if you are on this journey and considering the implant. Now, regarding functionality and size, erections are rock solid and functional when I cycle or inflate the implant. The only issue I notice is that my glans is often a bit cold and soft, especially when I am not aroused, which is often the case when I'm cycling the implant, unless I'm masturbating and fantasizing about something. So it does engorge more when I am aroused, and Cialis helps with that. Some men take 2.5 or 5 milligrams daily. This is not prescribed on the NHS, so I've basically bought my own, and I'll just take 20 milligrams every couple of days or something like that. So, that will help maybe with glans engorgement while I'm sleeping as well, because glans engorgement arrives via the corpus cavernosum rather than the corpora cavernosa, which is the route via which oxygenated blood arrives in the penile shaft to cause a natural erection. So, Cialis helps with that, and I'm hopeful it'll improve over time, but honestly, it's not a massive deal. The penis is still fully functional regardless. Now, in terms of size, it does seem a little smaller when erect at the moment, but it's actually bigger when flaccid. Basically, I've gone from being a grower to a shower. Right now it still measures 6 inches from the top when erect, as it did before the operation, which is perfectly fine, and my understanding is that size will improve over time with regular cycling. The pump still sits a little high up in the scrotum, which can make the penis look smaller from the underside, but it is slowly settling down and the scrotum is softening. Also, I don't always inflate exactly to 100%. Sometimes I'll inflate to 90% as it's still quite sore. If I inflate to 100%, it does look bigger than at 90%, obviously. So, yeah, it's still slowly settling down and the scrotum is softening over time. Sensitivity and orgasm intensity are the same as before I had the operation, pretty much. That hasn't changed at all, even if the penile tissues are still quite sore. The pump still feels quite solid in the scrotum, although swelling is going down gradually, has gone down gradually, actually quite significantly now. And it's actually improved a lot from when I first had the operation. And then again, since I first started cycling the implant, which opened up a whole new chapter of swelling and discomfort. But it's not too extreme. It does get better, and pretty much everyone who has had the same procedure done that I have spoken to says it is worth it, and it is worth the wait. That is the important takeaway and point to focus on if you're considering this procedure, or even if you've already had it and you're worried about progress. The satisfaction rate is extremely high. Another thing that I'll mention is that when I first had the operation done, the first time I pumped it up, the first few times I pumped it up, it was leaning quite a bit to the left. It has straightened out very quickly. With time, it becomes more symmetrical. There was another man in the Penile Implant and Support group on Facebook who was quite concerned about that himself, and I had to put his mind at ease that it does start to look better and more symmetrical and straighter the more you cycle. So where am I at emotionally? There's still a long way to go in recovery, but I'm already very glad I made this decision. I have no regrets whatsoever. The only regret that I do here is that some men didn't get it done. Some men wish that they'd got it done sooner, because the longer you leave it, the more atrophy can occur in the penis, and you can be more likely to lose size. So I'll be honest again, I have turned down a couple of dates recently with women that I was chatting to over the internet, and that's because I don't feel quite ready yet. I'm still working out how I will handle that next intimate encounter and whether I'll be open about the implant straight away or wait until the right moment. That's something I think a lot of single men with implants wonder about, and I'll keep you updated on how I managed that situation when it arises. So, in closing, don't go yet because I still have a couple of important things to say. That is my update for today, where I'm at in my recovery, what the cycling phase feels like, and some insights for men who are thinking about this procedure themselves. If you are struggling with erectile dysfunction and going around in circles with pills, injections, and expensive private therapies that do not work, know that there is a permanent solution. It's not easy, and the recovery phase takes patience. But for me, the implant has already been worth it, and I've only just begun to see the improvements. If you want more information of a more scientific nature about erectile dysfunction, penile implants, and sexual health in general, I strongly recommend Dr. Clavel and Rena Malik on YouTube. Dr. Clavel is also said to be one of the leading penile implant surgeons in the US, if you happen to live there. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to reach out if you're on the same journey. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it so more men can find the support and information they need. Thank you, and so long from below the belt.